I want somebody to die or something like that. It's very exhausting to constantly have conversations that devolve immediately into hyperbole and that are just like automatically taken to the worst possible scenario with no assumption of like what the person's intent is. What else are you gonna do? Well, I mean, there's nothing really to do. I think this is the case. Is like there's nothing really to do at all. Don't be super confrontational with your chat then. Start being more understanding. I mean, this didn't even happen in my stream though. Like, I'm not even talking about my stream to begin with. Like, it has, like, what would me being confrontational with what my chat is? Like, I'm just gonna ban you. Like, it's just so weird, man. And this is the same thing. Like, this is what he said. Asmon would just let her friends die with a lull. Like, I don't want to deal with that kind of stuff. Like, it's just exhausting and weird. I don't know. Really, people are trying to use this logic. Yeah, just fucking nobody has lodestone. The bears are still broken, right? I mean, this is a rhetorical question. Like, the bears are still broken, they don't work. Let me see. Yes, of course they're fucking broken. Alright, I'm gonna have to go over to Brightwood. God fucking damn it. Okay, let's go. You realize people in chat, OSF, probably don't have experience actual IRL people in the environments. Well, I think that it's probably like a mixture of like 5 or 6 different things, right? You have some people that are, you know, like they are like socially inexperienced, and so they do like overreact to things because they don't really know what's going on. Then you have like other people that are just kind of basically trolls, and they just want to overreact because they think it's funny to see people try to respond to them overreacting, if that makes sense. I think they find that funny. Then you have some people that don't like the streamers that are in the clips, and then they're reacting in like an extreme way because they don't like the person, and so it gives them an opportunity to go like, you know, 0 to 60 on somebody that they already don't like. And then you have other people that don't like a group of people where they maybe had a bad experience with alcohol or drugs in their own personal life, and so this upsets them personally, and so they you know, they overreact because they're emotionally invested. So like there's a lot of different directions that something like this can come from. Like, that's kind of what... I mean, like, it could be any of those, is what I'm saying. So, like, I don't think it's just, like, all entirely one thing. And I think some of those are legitimate, and I can understand that, and that's why I said it was, like, a weird joke and everything, but... I think everybody handles things and does things differently. And just the way that I handle things is... I try to be as non-confrontational as possible, because I find that whenever you are confrontational with people, that they usually will double down on what they're doing rather than, and then resent you for it, rather than work with you and try to improve. Like, to me, I always want to, like, I don't really care about, I don't care about, like, my ego, or anything. I only want to, like, my goal whenever I get involved in a situation like that is I only want to get, yeah, they'll dig in and get unreasonable, exactly, because they don't like being confronted, they don't like being told what to do. And I know that's the way people think. I know that's how people think, and because I know that's how people think, I've seen this happen. My goal whenever I have any confrontation or I want someone to do something different, I don't care about like what they should do or whatever. All I do is I look at that person like a video game, and all I need to do is figure out the cheat code to input into this video game. Like, I don't care, like, it doesn't matter what the cheat code is, it doesn't matter whatever it is. Like, my goal is just exclusively to get what I want out of this person and to make them do what I want them to do. So, like, I don't really put my own emotions into it as much as I put in what is the most effective way to solve the problem that I have. Does that make sense? So you're exploiting people? Well, no, I think that, like, what you're saying is, like, that's not what I'm saying at all. This is the kind of, like, weird stuff that, like, why am I getting such weird responses? Like, I'm manipulating and, like, fucking people over and all this stuff. Therapists do this? Yeah, this is, like, just really weird, and just, like, these kinds of stuff, like, it just makes me not want to stream, because you can't really have a conversation because people approach it with a disingenuous goal. Like, you're not trying to understand what I'm saying, you're just listening to what I say and then immediately interpret it in the most disingenuous way possible. Yeah, I don't understand, like, I don't want to deal with this. Too vague and too left to interpretation? No, it's not vague at all. Like, what I'm saying is that I avoid confrontation because confrontation usually does not give me the outcome that I want. I don't care about what I feel is the best option or what I think that this person should do. I only care about what will make this person do what I want them to do. So, this is the... Whenever you ask anybody to do anything for you, you are effectively manipulating them, right? You understand that? So what people are doing, like, you're manipulating them by anything, right? You're by confronting them, it's a form of manipulation under the same logic. And this is the kind of, as I said, like, disingenuous reframing of things that just makes conversations like this really boring. And I think that what's really unfortunate about it is that I like talking about stuff like this because I find it interesting. Because I think that these conversations are, like, there are very few places in the world where you can just sit and have a conversation about things that are a little bit more raw online without having to worry about, you know, a million different, like, social mores and things like this. And I like having Twitch and other places online where you can just say what you think and talk about things in an honest way. And I think that's one thing that's disappointing to me about whenever I see people that do that, is that I think that we do have something that's, like, really special here, and it just makes it disappointing to me to see it turned into something weird. And also, like, do you have any experience with Stoicism or Stoics? I mean, like Marcus Aurelius, stuff like that. Yeah, sure, but, like, this is not really about philosophy or anything like that. It's just about, to me, the way I goals, the way I have, the way I look at my goals is that I look at where I want to be and I look at where I am, and I figure out what is the shortest path between those 2 points, and I just do that. Use arguments to appeal to the person who's exporting. Yeah, it's just that's about really all it is to me, and I try to do the right thing and make the right choice, etc. And that's always what I try to do. So I have experience with ninja looting? Yeah, well, ironically I do. I'm very familiar with, like, you know, things to say or things to do in order to get a certain response. I think I don't get streamers deal with the most stupid statements. I don't know. I find that, like, there are times where I will snipe negative responses out of chat, and I do think that that can be unhealthy, but I feel like right now there are a lot of people saying these kinds of things. It's not like it's a handful of like 2 to 3 people and I'm just picking them out of a pile. I think there's a lot of people saying that kind of stuff. What I'm saying is, like, you make a good point, but I don't think this is a good example. Does that make sense? To transfer tomorrow to a heavy server on some point? No, I'm fine with my server. This is where my friends are. That's why I play on the server. I don't really care about, like, I mean, if Azoth or costs are higher, like, I don't really give a shit. I just want to play with my friends, that's all. You have a lot of great takes. This one confuses me a bit. I think that, like, for me, I think that whenever I talk about, like, what you should do for another person or not, I think there's a lot of people that this is kind of like, remember the conversation that we had a couple of days ago about the whole, like, about confronting people, like, physically, and about, like, if physical confrontation is a good idea? There's a lot of people who thought that they thought that it was a good idea to have physical confrontation, and I think that a lot of times people think that things are good ideas, and they think that they're going to do what they imagine or what they fantasize that they're going to do, but it's not really what they do. Like, there's a lot of people who basically are talking shit. Like, to me, like, for example, like, if somebody ever broke into my house, like, I think that I would, like, probably try and shoot them or something like that, right? But I know that, like, that's such an intense and crazy situation that I don't really even know what I would do. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I think I would do, but, like, what really would I do? You see what I mean? I get you, right. It's like, yeah, you think that you're going to do something in, like, a life or death situation, like, and this is just, oh, this is what I'll do for sure. And it's like, then you get put in that situation, and it's just totally fucking different. You think you do, but you don't? Yeah, when you're calm and thinking about it, it's easy. Yeah, exactly. And that's how I feel, right? Is like I think that I would do this, or I think I would do that, but, like, would it really happen? It's hard to say. And I think that a lot of times, people oftentimes will default to the most, like, extreme confrontational thing, and they say this is what they would do. But from knowing just, I don't know, people over the years, that's 99.9% of the time not true. Yeah, talk is cheap. Several self-defense situations involving firearms, I can confirm. People have no idea how they'll react until they've been in the situation. Yeah, exactly. A friend of yours was self-harming in the room. You'd simply try and reason with them while they do it. That's my understanding of your stance on this. Well, what would I do? I mean, I think that I handled it in a good way, right? I mean, I talked to her privately and dealt with it off stream. Yeah, I think that's what you do. It's not really that complicated to me. It's not that extreme or anything. Not in front of loads of viewers. Yeah, because it'll like embarrass her and like make her look bad and make her self-conscious. Like I just don't think that's the right decision. I always try to and this is something I don't always do, but it's something that I try to do, and I've tried to do more, is I try to assume that people don't have the worst intentions in mind. And it's hard because like sometimes you'll be in like a bad mood and you'll just like assume that the people that you're watching in chat or whatever, that like they're just trying to fucking like make you mad, and you're already mad, and it's just like it sucks, right? But you know, that's not really what I aspire to, I think. You know, it's very hard to really always live up to your ideals, but it's important to you know, at least in retrospect, hold yourself accountable to them. I wanted to go in here. I heard there were items in this area, but I really don't want to have to kill a bunch of mobs. Aren't these mobs like buffed or something? Bro, like, do I really want to kill this guy? Oh, fuck. Just get it out of the way. Okay. Just saying the situation, didn't know it was Oxy or not, kind of guessed it was a joke because it was kind of people you're with. Yeah, I just kind of assumed that it was, or they were just being stupid or whatever. Yeah, I think that generally, like, confronting something like, about something like that in front of a big audience, there's, like, really never a positive outcome to that, for anyone. Yeah, fuck that, I'm not going in there. People living vicariously through streamers thinking how they would handle the situation. Well, I think everybody does that. Like, I think, like, if you're watching a video or something like that, it's the same as, like, in the Olympics, right? People watch the Olympics and, like, they think, oh, man, maybe I could do that, right? People always live vicariously through whatever they're watching. I don't really think that's the problem. I think that the problem is, like, not being able to contextualize it to a degree, you know? People watch fiction, they sympathize with the characters. Yeah, I understand that, and that's why I said things like that are bad jokes, because it just makes people uncomfortable. And as I said, I'm generally uncomfortable around alcohol in general. And, you know, it's weird for me to say that because I'm not really I'm not really a religious person or anything like that. Whereas like a lot of people that feel that way are religious, but I just don't like it. That's really all there is to it. Thought process a little bit different on the matter. Love that you can give a reasonable response. Yeah, I can understand that. I just think that people... I think there's a lot of people that underestimate the amount of like negative repercussions that confrontation on stream can cause, and the amount of like weird things and like ways that can make people look bad and like cause all kinds of like really bad narratives for people. And kind of like what happened today, and that's why I try to avoid it as much as possible, because you never know, like, you know, how people are going to take it and run with it, and that's why I try to resolve things as much off stream as much as I can. Is it useful to do low tuning orbs at 60? I think people do them for like Azoth and repair parts, but like to me, no, I don't really think so. You ever think guys Baz did? The other streamers in the room got weird about S-Fan stepping in. Well, that's probably because they knew that it was a joke, or they assumed that it was a joke. I think that's why. Like, I don't really know why the different things happened or whatever, but I think that's pretty much what it was. I don't know why sometimes I can 2-tap these and other ones I can't. I think it's because of the zone that I'm in and I don't have like a certain gathering skill or something. On topic? Still on topic? Like, what the fuck? I like talking about stuff and I find it interesting. So like, if you don't like that I'm talking about something, then just don't watch the stream or whatever. But anybody who complains about like what I'm talking about or tells me to stop talking about something or whatever, I will probably ban you, because this is my own personal stream, and if I want to talk about something, I'll just talk about it and that's it. There's really nothing more to it. Gary, some of the LSF just posted now. Yeah, I can look at it in a few minutes. Any plans on streaming Sekiro? If I do the FromSoft marathon that I plan on doing, I will do Sekiro. Yeah, I think so. Is it dice right now? Stuff in drama. Well, people think that they. I think that. Like, again, I just. I'm trying to think about like the best way to put it or the best way to explain it. I don't know why I always hit them with that ability. I think it's because it does the most damage. I just always do it in general. I wish Fireball did more damage as like an opener attack. Okay, let me see. Increased damage of Fireball? Yeah, I know that. Where is it? I guess I can just look at new, right? Tank, next one. Last one was at fall for helping. Okay, here we go. Oh, there's this one too. Use a friend doing something that costs his life. Cause a disaster on Twitch. Just stop him. It's not your life to live. Espen did the right thing as an all human being. It was just a bad joke. The reason why I think it was a mistake to start the huge confrontation on stream is very evident by the fact that the top post. Let me make sure that these are all of them. Yeah, okay. Is it like this post right here has like 600,000 likes or posts, and there's like this, there's another one somewhere on there, like this one here has another like 600 likes and posts on it, right? So by him reacting that way, it made both Milena and Minx look really, really bad, much more so than if he had tried to resolve it privately. And while he was trying to do a good thing, and I think that should be considered, I think that by trying to approach it in this way, it caused two of his friends to get a huge amount of hate on them, and it like basically legitimized and like rationalized a lot of harassment onto those people by confronting it immediately on stream and making a big deal out of it. And that's why I think that it matters. Like, I think that realistically, while it was worst case scenario, it would be unhealthy, it also at the same time probably was not going to kill her or anything like that. And that's why as soon as the thing happened and it was off camera, I immediately went and dealt with it privately, personally, off stream. I immediately dealt with it. But I just didn't deal with it on stream, because whenever you do that, you get massive posts like this that, you know, affect people. Because there's going to be people that are going to go into Minx's stream and going to go into Milena's stream tomorrow and the next day and in a week and in a month from now and harass them over this situation that SFAN effectively created. Do you understand what I'm saying? This fan created it. You're delusional. He did by confronting it and making it a really big deal in front of the stream, in front of everybody. There are other ways that you can handle it that do not involve that. Absolutely. It wasn't a big deal. Yeah, it's just, it's not that big of a deal. Problem is he did on stream? Yeah. So I think that's really, that's the point that I'm making. It's harassment all people, it shows lack of empathy, people's well-being. Guy shows very little compassion for people or animals in general. Probably wouldn't even care if Minx felt really sick. I had to go to the ER again. What to expect from a guy who used to kill raccoons for fun whenever he was a teenager. It's just like, I think these are the reasons why you have like a... This is like a cascading problem. And I'll explain kind of how the cascading problem occurs. Is that the way that it happens, like I never killed a raccoon whenever I was a teenager. It just never happened. I captured raccoons and I let them go out in like the country. Like it just never happened. I never said that I killed a raccoon. I never implied it. I never said that at all. It just never happened. But because people have a negative perception of me from the post, they will reflexively upvote things that are inaccurate. And because there's no real accountability on Reddit, like if somebody is spreading like false information or anything like that, you have posts like this that get traction, and then people get a belief that I'm like this, you know, this animal abuser, and I kill raccoons for fun. I kill animals for fun. And what ends up happening is that something like that occurs, and then it enables people that are like actually mentally ill and kind of on the edge to lash out at the person, the content creator, in like extreme ways. So like, for example, like, you know how the person tried to like burn down Amarat's house and stuff like that? Like, what do you think the chances are that that person who tried to burn down her house was probably radicalized by misinformation about her that was created online? I'm not saying on LSF, but it could have been on Twitter or somewhere online. You see what I'm saying? You see kind of like how this is like a domino effect, and why I think this is important to talk about. You look at a meta perspective, it's weird. Yeah. So it's really unfortunate to see people that make posts like this that are just completely inaccurate. Very little compassion for people or animals. This is actually true. I am not really a very compassionate person about things that people I don't know and animals that are not mine. I'm not. I don't think that this is a necessarily bad thing at all. I think that I just have a different view on things, and I'm very compassionate about people that I care about, and I'm very not compassionate about people that I don't care about. It is what it is. Definitely think you're right about handling it off stream. Yeah, and that's all I'm really saying. Open to that, they do stupid stuff. Tell me it's not my problem. That happens. Say I told you. That's why I think Aswan is not wrong. People are old enough to know what they do. Cannot play mommy and daddy every day. Yeah, I think so too. Opinion based on everything. He's very libertarian view of the world. Highly skeptical of good intentions. I am skeptical of good intentions. You're actually, this is very accurate. Yeah, this is somebody who's watched my streams a lot. This is very accurate. Usually whenever I see good intentions, I think that oftentimes people, yeah, alt account. There are a lot of times whenever bad things happen through good intentions. And that's why it does make me skeptical of them. Because there are a lot of times whenever people will try to do something good and it will have a bad outcome. And I think that both of those things should be considered. The intentions of it and also the outcome. Talking about virtue signaling? No, not really. He's criticizing you. Incredibly non-confrontational and big on personal responsibility and freedom to a fault, in my opinion. Well, this is his opinion, right? I mean, like, somebody can disagree with me. Conversation. So I get where he's coming from. I still disagree, though. The tweet, this take, seems like everything is damage control to me. Key takeaway, Esfand did nothing wrong. He seemed concerned. I just, I mean, can you guys at least see the point that I'm making with, by making a big deal out of it, it emphasizes it and puts both of them in the crosshairs for hate? Yeah. And I knew this would happen. And Esfand had this happen to him, ironically, with the, remember whenever it was like the big Texas snowstorm thing? And Train, like, made a really big deal because, like, For Connor made, like, a stupid comment. And then people, like, made a huge hate thread about, like, Esfand and For Connor being, like, out of touch. I think this is kind of the same thing. Being cross-eyes afraid is very better than being very sick or dead from Esfand's perspective. Yeah, but that's not gonna happen realistically. Like, I think that this is the same kind of stuff that people would say with, like, remember whenever Alinity, like, had the cat lick, like, vodka off of her lips, and they said that she was feeding the cat vodka? It's just like a deliberate exaggeration to prove a point that doesn't exist. It was a dog shit joke. Yeah, I agree. Asking someone to take it up in private when it's an event that's taking place right now that can't wait is a bit off-putting. Well, it can wait. And it would, yeah, it can, it's fine. I'm saying it was a joke, it wasn't. Did you see the way Esfand, the way he reacted? It has to be exhausting. It's very exhausting to deal with people that think that they know what you should do in every circumstance. It definitely is. Reasonable would take our word for it for the time being, given the potential severity. I don't know. Delusional on this one. Optics are horrible to begin with. Without Esfand, Esfand is a credit to the group. That's not... I completely disagree with that. Because Esfand, by making a huge deal out of it, got a huge hate thread made about two of his friends. Based off of something that he misinterpreted, that he didn't even have a right to intrude in on himself. Like, that's the truth. Like, it's not, let me think of a way to put it. But he didn't know, though. You're right. And it's not... Minx does not need his approval to do things. You understand that? Friends should let friends drink and drive, in my opinion. Nobody's drinking and driving. Do you believe you should take responsibility? No, because Minx was motioning to him that it was fine. Moena and Minx were doing something that was obviously a joke. Well, it wasn't even obviously a joke. I mean, clearly it was not obvious to him. But, that's what I'm saying. Doesn't mean he can't try, and Minx was shutting him down or anything. Clearly this was important to Esfand. Do you guys see kind of what I'm saying? Like, I'm just gonna explain this one last time because people don't fucking understand this. Is that Minx is a grown adult She should not need to seek SFAN's approval or explain things to SFAN about what she is doing or taking or drinking or not drinking. This has nothing to do with him. She is an adult, and him inserting himself into the situation and then trying to basically create a situation where he needs to have his approval for that situation to occur is not something that I feel is within the scope of how he should act. I don't think so. And I think by doing it, he made this huge big deal about something that made two of his friends look really bad. It's not about approval, it's about looking out for someone's safety. Minx was not going to die or go to the hospital for drinking a small amount of alcohol like that. It wasn't going to happen. It's just like, it's such a massive exaggeration. Like, it's just, come on, man. Like, half of it didn't even go in her mouth. It, like, landed on her face. It's not like she was chugging alcohol. I mean, that's what I'm saying, is, like, it's just these, like, deliberate exaggerations for all of this is just so fucking insane, man. It's so fucking insane. Yeah, 20 years contradicts what you talk about. People need to be protected from themselves. Of course it contradicts, because you're talking about two individual people and I'm talking about the government. Of course it's fucking different. What do you mean? Holy shit. How do you not understand that? I'm just like, I'm so like exhausted explaining this over and over and over. Like, it's being controlling by doing that. It absolutely is. She's doing something that she's clearly okay with, and it was a stupid joke. It should not have happened. But overreacting and then trying to solve a problem that wasn't there and putting yourself in the situation ended up making everything worse. And I think that it would have been 1,000 times better if it had just been solved off stream and dealt with off stream after it happened. Nobody would have died. Nobody would have had to go to the hospital. Everything would have been fine. The entire thing is just completely blown out of proportion. And it's exhausting to have to read things like this. This is insane. Holy shit. You'd rather than physically harm than expose internet drama, really? I don't think that that's really... I think that to, like, from your perspective, that it might be like just internet drama or whatever, but it's extremely upsetting and damaging to people's mental health. Like, you have streamers and people take breaks constantly from streaming. They're constantly worried and in therapy with mental disorders because of all this internet hate and stuff like that. It's extremely upsetting, and I understand that for a lot of people in chat, they don't understand that because they've never been in that situation. And you're talking about somebody talking about a hypothetical situation that didn't happen? Yeah, it didn't happen. So that's basically the way I feel about it. Dramatizes for you as well, creates more clout and money. No, drama is not always good. But this is what I'm saying, right? Is like, it's extremely stressful to have to deal with something like that. So to just say that it's like, oh, it's just internet drama or something like that, I think that's just so unfair, and I think nobody's really had that happen to them before, and they've never been in like a public position like that and seen that happen. It's extremely exhausting, and it's really upsetting to have to deal with. That's all there is to it. Well, people can't take breaks, need to work, make money, keep it not relatable. I mean, I think that like a lot of streamers can't take breaks either. Like the only what the fuck? Oh, the only streamers that can take breaks are people that can afford to do that. I mean, there's plenty of people that just have to quit because it stresses them out, and they get upset about it constantly. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people in that position. So let me read some more about this. He was saying enforcing alcohol and Minx is one begging for it. People just want to be mad because they want to be mad at this point. Yeah, I think that's true. I'll read some more of these comments and then I'm just gonna move on. Minx was not only drinking on her own, she was also asking Melina to pour alcohol in her mouth. Yeah, I think so too. She was really blaming us, fun of all people. Jesus Christ. It's not your place to insert yourself. Genuinely think that someone's going to hurt them. It's not the case. We has one back. The Zackrawrr guy isn't very based. I think this is a situation where doing the thing that makes people feel good, and it's kind of like this is like the like righteous thing to do or whatever. The right thing to do ends up causing harm, and I think that having the foresight to expect that is important. So it's like, I don't think it was a bad take. I don't think that I'm wrong at all, and I think that people will never, they will never probably see what I'm saying. Like, I think that there are a lot of people that will just disagree with me, and there will be there's no way I can convince them. High road Andes, I mean, to an extent, yeah. Terrible take from Asmund usually goes more level than it takes two. See a friend potentially hospitalized or harm themselves, and where it's a joke, why wouldn't you step in? You know, spending too scared down question Melina. The one's being shitty. Because she's not going to hospitalize or harm herself by drinking probably what would equate to 1/3 of a shot of alcohol. It's just not going to happen. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to happen. Isn't it a danger she continued drinking more afterwards? I mean, yeah, that's why I wanted to deal with it immediately after. They're guaranteed it would only be that amount, though? Well, yeah, that's why I tried to deal with it afterwards. I take everything at face value. How's that fun gain most criticism? Just so to gain friends. I was down to joke, giving me alcohol and someone in pain meds. No, it was a bad joke for sure. It definitely was. Next time, let's stop a person whenever you think they're under the influence, making stupid shit. Can't believe us all turned on blaming S fan. Well, I think it's very simple why. It's because his actions caused a huge hate thread for two people on the org, and made them look bad. And like it's weird whenever like I can say that I think everybody was at fault, and then people say that I think that it's S-Fan's fault. Their actions caused a hate thread? No. If S-Fan hadn't behaved like he did, this would have never been a big thread. Let's be honest. Like, if he hadn't made a huge, like, drawn attention to it and, like, freaked out about it, there would have been, like, 3 or 4 people in chat, like, making a comment about it, and then it would have just blown over. But the fact that he drew attention to it and freaked out about it, that's exactly what created the thread. You need to take everything you're saying at face value. Let me read here. Smaller streamer. I want to tell my bad. Can't see how shitty the take is. I only think Asmon's pretty level head takes on most things. Such a shit take. My friend was drunk driving. It's not. This is the thing. It's like it's on par with. This is not on par with driving drunk at all. Holy fuck, like I'm so sick of reading these retarded comments. Jesus Christ. Holy fuck, like how like, wow. Drunk driving and taking one shot is the same thing. Holy fuck, man. Oh, actually, let me go back over here. I had to keep crafting. Forgot about that. Should I do Dynasty pre-level 60? I just wait till 60, so you're like automatically at 500 eye level. Well, it's like people just like, I think that they just don't even want to see like my point of view. And I don't think that I'm wrong in what I'm saying. And I think that it's evidenced in, what do you call it? It's evidenced in what happened. Like I said that everybody was basically wrong in one way or another. And people laser focus in on one part of it. Oh fuck, I need more of these? Oh my god. How many fucking lodestones do I need? What's your concept on the... what's your take on the concept of Moena having a problem with drinking? Is that overblown in your opinion? I think that 99% of the streamer, like Mizkif having ADD, me being messy, like I think that all of the stereotypical things that people think that streamers are is usually like completely overblown for content, and people assume that it's real. Like, I'm messy. I think Moena does drink, and, you know, these things are true. But it's like taking something that's like a 5 and then exaggerating it to a 10, if that makes sense. My dad just come for a while. I'm gonna just ban you. It's just like, that's such a weird thing to say, that she had this coming. Like, I don't know. Like, I understand that, like, some of that stuff is, like, okay, but I just, I don't want to deal with that. Husband lives in a sterile environment off stream. Well, no, what I'm saying is that, like, I think that the way, like, people play up, like, I don't know, is it really that amazing to assume that people play up their little, you know, like, weird things about themselves on stream just for comedic effect? I mean, I don't know. I think that's kind of, like, it's kind of assumed, isn't it? Yeah, I do it all the time. Like, yeah, it's just not... I think even you do it probably with your friends. It's like, oh, you know me, guys, you know, this is how I am. And you do something kind of crazy. Like, I do that even, like, outside of streaming. So it's like, idiosyncrasies, yeah, everybody does that. Is Melina actually just, like, this secret fucking alcoholic, drunk psychopath? No, I don't think so at all. It's just... it's just what people do for fun. She's not an alcoholic, psychopath maybe? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, she's a psychopath, man. What is this? Hand of Hoarfrost. Oh, Ice Call. I'm not gonna do that. Fuck that. Yeah, I don't know. It's like... This is like always what happens with like streams, and I don't really know like what the solution for that is, and I think it's kind of like one of the real downsides to streaming is that like it's really hard to... There's a lot of things that are, I think, like kind of like fundamentally unhealthy about streaming, and I don't know if you guys really agree with me on this or not, but I think that there's a lot of things that are really weird about it. I think that, like, for example, like one of the big reasons that I stream a lot on like my second channel is that it helps me, like, it distracts me from other stuff, right? Like, I don't have to think about I don't have to think about what, you know, like my own personal life, or, you know, like what's going wrong in my life. Like, I can just distract myself. Yeah, taxes, that's one of them, right? Just a lot of things. And it's escapism, and it's like even whenever I'm like driving home from somewhere, like I'll start getting bad thoughts and getting like depressed and stressed out, and so I'll get on my stream and just try to distract myself, and it does help me out a lot. But like, is that really a healthy thing to do? I don't know if it is. Is running away the right thing though? It's like, is it running away? And like, is that... And it's like, I don't know. Like, it's hard really to know like what the right decision is, or how to approach something like that. Do you do anything that isn't escapism? Yeah, of course. I mean, absolutely. But it's been really hard to come to terms with things, and I think streaming and getting on my second channel and just kind of sitting around and talking about stuff and doing that, it's an outlet for me that I do appreciate to have. I do appreciate having, I guess I could say. I don't know, it's a way you have to wind up. Well, I mean, I think that like escapism is good. Always escaping is not good. I mean, it's the same with almost everything, right? Like, I think drinking is usually fine, but not whenever you're fucking an alcoholic. You know, drinking water is fine, but drowning is bad. Okay. So it's just like that's kind of the point that I'm making. Always good to face your problems head on. Like, there's some things that you can't like face head on. There's not like, not everything is just some fucking, you know, 1v1 confrontation. Some things are just these, you know, like residual shitty things in your life that you can't really do anything about in some circumstances. So anyway, why was I talking about that? Oh yeah, about streaming being unhealthy. I think that also like streaming does, it does simulate in a lot of ways the, it stimulates like these social interactions that people usually should have from like friends and stuff. And you're streaming and like you're surrounded by these people and you think that you know them, and I think this goes like, this is for viewers and for streamers. Like some streamers think that like viewers are their friends, and then the viewers stop watching them because the streamer doesn't do something that they like, or vice versa, or that he does do something that they don't like, and it can be very unhealthy, and it's very hard to know like what the right balance to that is, right? Like what's the right balance to like caring about somebody's stream and caring about somebody's personal life and being parasocial. And like I think about that a lot, and I think that, you know, situations like this are like a good example of it, because like where is the line? And it's like some people, like the same line with different things makes some people uncomfortable for different reasons. Parasocial, I think parasocial, like it's a very overused term, but I think that generally what it means is that you're inserting yourself into like a streamer's personal life in a large way, and like you think that you like know them better than you do. Like that's effectively what parasocial means for a lot of people. No, fuck, this one's not open yet. Okay. But yeah, it's like there is a lot of, I think, mental illness that streaming is very good at cultivating. I think that this happens with like, this happens with like the viewers and also with the streamers. Problems your take is, you know, I don't care about what your problem with my take is. Like I've already explained why I think what I think, and I've pretty much expressed my point of view, and that's it, right? I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like I don't know, I don't want to like reframe it 100 different times and explain it 50 different times. Like I said what I said, this is what I think. I think that I have like good reasoning behind it. Some people will disagree. I don't care. I understand that there are different points of view. Yeah. I feel like some streamers never really got to experience social life before entering social life. That's what's fucked up with a lot of streamers on a platform. See, I actually completely disagree with that. I think that what you're really seeing is the way that normal people act. I think that